Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Shilpa Data Insight. So I've got a lot of requests to make AI videos related to data engineering, how you are actually using AI in the data engineering field. So to begin with, we have to get started with something related to AI basics that the developers actually use, right? Not those fancy terms of LLMs and generative AI, RAGs and all, which is not used completely by data engineer. It's good to know, which I have it in a completely different playlist, but this playlist is actually dedicated for the AI for either a code developer or a data engineer or a data scientist, right? So this one is related to the GitHub Copilot. So I will tell you the GitHub Copilot CLI. So let's get started with today's agenda. What all things we are going to cover in this complete playlist. I will divide this particular course into separate parts and I will tell you very in a layman terms how exactly the things work, and also we will have some hands-on on it. So get started with your laptop and let's see what we are going to cover in this course. So what is GitHub Copilot CLI? So this course is dedicated to GitHub Copilot CLI. So first of all, you have to understand what is GitHub Copilot CLI. It's basically an AI assistant which is built in your terminal. So terminal is like where in your Visual Studio Code, if you're using an IDE called Visual Studio Code, you have a terminal where you can just type and you can get the results out of it, right? So that is what is GitHub Copilot CLI. We will actually have an in-depth thing that's coming it, then we will learn why it actually matters. Basically it's faster, right, and smarter as well. And what you are going to learn is you are going to learn its setup, how you need to set up. That's the first point that you need to learn. And then you need to learn its commands, how to interact with it, and then again we will also definitely see the real world use case. I'll tell you personally how exactly it's used in the projects, right, real world projects. Why we need this? We already have the GitHub Copilot, right? But what we do is when we are coding something or we are debugging something, we have multiple tabs open. In one we have a browser, a Stack Overflow, some other documentation, right? And then you also have some manual tasks that you are doing it repeatedly. So this is the way actually right now it's everything is working. That is before AI, but after AI, that is there in your terminal. In one terminal you can do everything, right? You don't have to switch from one IDE, browser, documentation, then debugging everything, your code base, right? If you want to know your code base, that is everything can be done with AI. These are like fancy terms that you are hearing right now, but as we go along you will understand what exactly it is, right? So it's basically, you can think of any AI model, could be ChatGPT, could be Claude, along with the terminal with the GitHub Copilot assistant. So that's all together is the GitHub Copilot that we are using. That is the CLI version. Now let's do a quick startup. So what we will do in the first session is we will go ahead and set up the CLI, right? Because you need to set it up. So for that, we are going to install, we are going to authenticate, and we are going to verify. So installation are of different ways. I will tell you. That's like using npm, then brew and winget, and then you have to authenticate with the GitHub profile that you have. And what you will walk away with is the Copilot, which is installed in the first session, authenticated, you have your AI command, and we will have some clear basic understanding of the CLI if you really not aware of, because to use the GitHub Copilot CLI, you need to know the CLI basics. Now let's see what are kind of modes are there. So we have in this, the Copilot CLI is having an interactive mode. There are different modes as well, which we will going to discuss. Then you can also do a command suggestion, you can do a code explanation, you have your AI terminals, and you can create your workflows as well. It's a very important thing when you are working in an organization, you have a lot of code base, right? And when you have joined an organization, you really don't know what is the code base, and someone, a senior, need to explain you what exactly is the code base. You have, they will give you the repository, you also need to understand by your own. They are not going to spoon feed you, right? So it takes a little bit of 2 weeks or maybe more than that, depending on how complex the code base is in order to understand. With the help of AI, it has become very simple because AI will understand your project. And when you give some commands to the AI, it's going to explain you everything of that particular repository. It will analyze, it will tell you what is the code base, it will give you the architecture as well, and it will help you in actually onboarding to the project very rapidly. Like the pace that you had for 2 weeks more, it can be reduced to maybe a day or two, depending on what is your complexity of the code base. Even if it's a complex code base, its AI is going to tell you how exactly is the code base is working, right? Now the next thing is you have your developer workflows, right? Now in the developer workflows, what we will do is we have some errors, right? You actually have to debug those errors. You have to pass the logs, you have to check what exactly is the error, and you have to review and refactor the code as well at some point, right? You have to improve the quality test, you have to generate the test cases, and every time you have to do this thing. So how exactly you can do it? So you can create a workflow where you reproduce your errors, you ask the copilot, you paste the context, what exactly it is, and request it to fix. It will give you some suggestion that these are the things that you can actually fix it, and you validate it. You really need a human intervention. Everything you cannot do is say it to AI. You have to revalidate whatever AI is saying is right, and then you actually go ahead and commit those changes, right? That commit is also a part of the workflow that you are actually pushing the changes to. So this also we are going to develop in the complete session. Now, the next is you have to build your AI assistant, which is very powerful. Like you might have heard about those terms, which is very popular nowadays, like skills, agents, plans, and everything, right? So we are going to discuss that. So, but you will be creating your own AI assistant here. You can create an AI assistant on what use case, right? So some of the use case here I've written down, like you can generate your document, you can write your SQL code, you can optimize your SQL code, you can create your PySpark code, you can create your workflows, you can do a code review, a PR review, and you can standardize the review process so that the complete team uses the same PR review process, right? So it's very useful when you are doing it at scale. So it's a consistent way of doing things. So you are setting up the process in a very efficient way in this case. Now, you have to connect the copilot not only to your code base, you have to connect it to different things. You are just connecting it. So how you are actually connecting is one way is using MCP server. You might have heard about MCP. MCP is what? Model Context Protocol, right? So to connect with an outer world. So it's a secure bridge that gives copilot access to live real world data from external services. So basically you can connect to the external services, you can query a database which is not there, but you can connect it through the MCP server, you can query it in natural language, you can connect enterprise APIs, you can also access internal documentation, right? So these are some very powerful feature that you can use. MCP can be used in anywhere, right? But these are some powerful things that you can do with MCP servers. Now, Copilot will gain those contexts and you actually stay in the flow and you can direct the Copilot what exactly to be done, right? And it will create your plan and the flow, and then you can go with the flow. Now, what is this future proof of your engineering workflows? So you just tell the Copilot it's going to do that. But you might have heard about tokens and everything, right? It's going to utilize a lot of tokens. But before implementing something, let's say you are a junior, right? And you person is a senior. Senior asked a junior that, yes, you have to develop something. Now, the junior may have some questions saying that, okay, I need to develop it, so can I do it in this way, that way? Now, the senior person can tell, okay, yes, you can do it in this way, but let's go ahead and improvise in this, right? Here it's actually a collaboration that's happening now. So what you have to do with the Copilot is you have to plan, you have to define the goal and the scope of it. Then you can ask the Copilot to generate that thing according to the plan and the goal that was created by Copilot, and do an implementation. Once the implementation is done, then you are actually doing some debugging. There could be some errors and all. You are actually fixing that up. And the next thing is you are doing a review. Yourself actually need to do some review out of it, right? So once you do a review, then you give a feedback that, okay, let's do it in this way, and it will rewrite the things and it will give you back. So in this case, what happens is the time that you use to write the code and implement your workflows has reduced, right? You are learning things faster as well. You can automate more tasks, which is manual or repetitive, and you can ship that review thing in a better way. The documents that you are shipping or the code base that you are shipping is much efficient, I would say, or much better, right? Now, what is next? Like in the upcoming videos, what you are going to have is install the CLI. You will learn about the modes of it, how the real world project workflows work, and then we will also learn about the custom skills, agents, MCP servers, and some real use case for AI for data engineering, right? So I hope this agenda will help you to kickstart at least in your projects, right? If you are working in an organization, this will really help you. And if you are also studying, this is also going to help you, because these concepts are very basics, and it will help you because as you are a developer, you are already knowing about the CLI. So you can just type it and do it, right? Now, if there's anything else that you want me to add, you can put it in the comments. I would be glad to put that also in this particular course. So if you like this video, the agenda of the complete course, then do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends so that everyone can learn AI and leverage the AI capabilities that is present right now. And this course can be updated in future depending on what enhancements are being done in the AI field. So till the next video, stay tuned, stay curious, and keep learning.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.